Get everybody up in here. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good vibes, good energy, good people. It's your boy Mickey Fenty, aka Mickey Made It. If you're new to this channel, you know what to do to this channel. Subscribe right now. Also, if you want to support my brand, it's inspired by dreams.shop. And I'll leave the link down below in the description so you guys can just click away. Okay, today we got a lot to talk about. It's Friday, feeling good. The energy's up, but I gotta send some healing energy. Peace, peace, peace. We all in here. I gotta send some healing energy to the people who were affected by the wildfires out in LA County, California, and everybody they have families out there and their homes and everything, their lost items and the things that's precious to them has been lost. So we always got to keep, some love in the air, and let's put some peace out there for them. And this is something that we all got to get through, because when it comes to, like, nature has its ways of having different types of surprises. So we just got to take it as it comes and be ready for what's next to come. So I'm hoping everybody's feeling good. We got a lot to talk about today, man. I got a lot to talk about. So I just got to settle myself in, you guys. And I just want to bring it to you guys the right way. Much love, more fire, more fire. You already know, you already know. Blessings to you and yours, and everybody out there, man, because the tension is up. But, today is so many different things going down. I want to slow down this pace a little bit and just get into the things that just really struck my mind and just had me thinking. So let's just start it off. The first thing I want to start it off before we get into anything is, let's go with the Diddy first, okay? If you guys haven't been keeping up with this channel, that's called Art of Dialogue. They really good content. I believe he's on his third episode of him interviewing Chopper. And Chopper, if you guys don't understand or know the name, Chopper was a recent former artist of Diddy. And in the making of the band, they had a group going on, for those who don't know. And yeah, Chopper was just giving his points and his takes on things that he encountered when he was around Diddy, and just his take on how he feels with the allegations that's set out today on Diddy, and just what he thought about it. So his last episode, man, this was the most eye-opening. I mean, it was crazy. I would just say, let's take it from the top. So Chopper says in this interview that him and Diddy, they had like a weird type of friendship, kind of, because of this situation. One day Chopper was in the studio, and he said he walked into another studio and he saw Diddy kissing a big exec. And he said from that point, when he saw Diddy kissing him, he never looked at him the same. And things started from that point on. He started feeling funny about the whole situation. Not just feeling funny that Diddy was gay, but just feeling funny that it was very deceptional. Like, he didn't understand. So many things are being hidden, including their money. So he just didn't feel comfortable in this space. But what I could say is, when it comes down to Diddy and the things that we're hearing from the people that were actually around him, Diddy had this problem. Even they're saying that, I'll be sure, in that the Peacock documentary says that Kim Porter did keep she did keep a diary, and he's fighting for that. He's fighting to tell us that no, she did keep a diary and she was working on something. And when people found out about what she was doing, or whoever, whether it be Diddy or his people that work for him, that's when things took a left turn. So just knowing that Chopper could just walk into the studio and see Diddy kissing another man, and just imagine the females and the people that he was around, like the Kim Porters that he was messing with, they know the same thing too, because he couldn't hide this type of energy after a while. You're talking about a man that was doing this over time and time. These are years been passed. So as what we saw, the end of it was kind of like when he was getting almost ready to get locked up, because we seen him being more, less like outgoing with his I guess his bisexual, his feelings, because he would just like talk to anybody anyway, calling people daddy and this and that, and it just came off weird. It's not like you just saying, like it was like it was norm for him to say that. This is something that he started to say at a certain point in time in his life to certain people that he felt open to feel this way around. So when I heard all that and I put it all together, it was just crazy, because Chopper was started to explain how, after it was all over, like, but just thinking back of all the people and the things that Diddy did, he said he stole 30 million from making it the band without giving them anything. They didn't even get over 100,000, I believe he explained. So just knowing that he was taking everything in bulks, and it's even if it was a group, I understand that it was a group that that was made on TV, but at the same point, the people, the artists, it's still all the same. Those are still artists that was trying to open, break into the industry and being taken advantage of somebody that they're thinking that, there's going to be they're in their benefit. So it just gave me a different outlook, just knowing how open Diddy was to just being, even if it was in the studio, you have other artists and other people there. And so if somebody opens the door, we're hearing this so many different times in people's different stories of walking in on Diddy and he's kissing or doing something that was, probably not in the forefront, or he was something that he was trying to hide. And I felt like he was coming to a point where he was just being open with it at this point. I feel like in his later stages, being that he was doing this for so long, I feel like at this point he probably was just a little bit more open, and that's why we see things, little videos of him just trying to, actually, kind of kick it to the rappers and start getting into that mix of things. So it got kind of crazy, man. You guys got to really check out all the dialogue, and I believe he's up to like his third. Yeah, I think it's up to the third interview with Chopper, and that was just an eye opener for me as far as that whole Diddy thing. Another thing I wanted to bring to you guys, yeah, like I said, I'll be sure he was fighting for that with the Kim Porter, that whole situation. So, there's a lot of truth. The things that we might just look at and say, it seems a little iffy with Diddy, it's possibilities that this could be truth to it. And this, we don't know what evidence or how they're going about this. All we know is what's being presented to us. But so far from what we hear from the people that surround him, it's not good. And I also wanted to know who was the exec that he was kissing on, because that person might have more information or more insight on who this man actually was. In the documentary, they said he was darker than we thought. So that person that he was kissing on, I don't know if that person wanted to come out, if that person is married or is openly gay. We don't know who it was. He just said it was a big exec. So coming up in the next interviews, hopefully we'll see or hear if what exec it was, and maybe that person might have a little more insight on who Diddy actually is, and the person that we thought he was is not the person who he is today. So yeah. Another thing I seen, this is for anybody that I just wanted to touch on this real quick, and I want to be as respectful as possible. For those people who are tuned into battle rap, the people that tune into hip hop outside of just social media and what's been going on as far as the hip hop industry, you gotta you always got a place where you can hear lyrics and lyrical warfares and little battles. So when it comes down to battle rap, I just want to touch something real quick. Now, one of the battle salute. One of the battle rappers I really, from beginning, his name is Cortez. He was explaining the story on, I believe the podcast is called Uppercut. Shouts out to Uppercut Podcast. And Cortez is a battle rapper. He was from the beginning, he was one of the best, starting the culture and just being ahead of his game as far as his raps and just, building himself up to be what we know now as Cortez and all of the work he has put in. He recently came on this podcast, Uppercut, and he was explaining how his son had got locked up, and his son was he was dealing with his family's situation, and just a briefing of it. He needed money to help his son with his incarceration. Just wanted his son to fight, the case outside, so he needed to get the bond money or bail money to get him out. And he went to Smack, which is Smack is the owner of URL, one of the founders of this thing, battle rap, and how we see it and see it on stages. He is the founder of it all. So he went to him because that was the first league that he was that he was a part of. And he kind of went to Smack, I guess to borrow money or, just not really even borrow money, but kind of like, if Smack has set him up with a couple battles, he'll be able to pay it off and maybe he'll get his advance and put it together for his son. And however that worked out, whether, it didn't work or worked out, his son ended up coming out and going back in because for another indictment. And this is the part I wanted to highlight. And I want to be as respectful as possible because I do respect Cortez as a battle rap artist. But when it comes down, I wanted to touch just on the parenting, just because this is the type of topics that we touch on my platform. I wanted to talk about parenting in today's society. And when it comes to hip hop, if you're a part of hip hop and you're a parent of a child, there's a certain way you have to go about raising a kid much differently than a person that is they're raising a kid that's, you know, maybe even a female, or raising a kid that doesn't want to be a part of hip hop. Now, one of his first mistakes, I would say, one of his kids' first mistakes, because let's talk before we get to Cortez. Let's just speak on this kid. You know, just this battle rap. Cortez mentioned that his son, he was into the drill music, and which we all know as adults, it is a problem in our society today. It's not anybody trying to down the music. It's not like we are trying to do the music with you. We're just trying to find a better way of getting a better outlook of the music that's being presented. Now, when it comes down to drill music can throw the youth off into just a different route, a route of criminal acts instead of a route of hip hop. And people don't understand it too. Now, if you are a parent, and I'm just saying in general at this point, if you're a parent and you have a son and you see him out there, he wants to do music. Okay, there's nothing wrong with doing music. Music is one of the most inspirational things it feeds the world good energy and bad energy at the same time, depending on how you use it. But you have to really pay attention to what type of music is influencing your kid. Now, you see a kid, maybe you be more involved in what your kid is doing. If your kid wants to do drill music, you have to know in the back of your head the mistakes that your kid is going to make. He's not going to be able to handle them. You have to stop it right there. No, you can't do drill music. What's wrong with telling your kids that they can't do something? That they misconstrue how this life thing works. Sometimes you have to take the fall for your kids. So just knowing, if it wasn't for that, then wisdom wouldn't make any sense, would it? It's the people that do things and have these mistakes. They leave a pattern back where you could follow without making the same mistake. So now we know that anybody that has a kid out there and their kid is being a part of this drill music, you have to stop your kid from doing the drill music. Even if you are out there and you're supporting your kid, you might have to pull that support back just because it might save your kid's life in the long run. Drill music is almost just like a criminal act. It's either you're going to jail or you're in the coffin. And both of those, you still lose yourself within that. And it's a sad thing because I see Cortez fighting, and he's not a bad guy, you guys. He's not like I just can't point out from what I know from here to the next screen and say, oh, this guy's a bad father. But what I could say, the mistakes that he made were very detrimental. Just not, and you know, I'm not saying that Cortez, because Cortez comes from the streets as well. But I just feel us as like just men, fathers, uncles, people that's older that had, you know, they say OGs, whatever you want to call us. I just feel like sometimes when you see a kid is out there about to try to get into something that you know might be possible, or you might have been a part of in a different form, and you know what could surround that, sometimes you just gotta just stop it from the get-go. It's more things to do in life than just this whole, you know, chasing this dream of getting money with the drilling. And that brings violence to people that probably is not really a violent person at heart, but just have to defend certain things that goes on in the streets, the culture, because you got to be there. You have to be present to prove your drill song is more authentic than the next person coming out. So that's what makes these kids get lost in between that, just having to prove something that they're not, or bring something out of themselves that they probably wouldn't have to do if they just changed up the music or do something. And now let me tell you, when it comes down to drill, it's dope music, but at the end of the day, it's the content, and you don't have to include other people that with demon energy in your story. You're putting yourself, you can tell a story on a drill beat, and it doesn't have to be anything to do with the next person. The more people you include in your life that don't mean the best for you, that's how it makes it easier for the youth to get lost and they just fall. Now, when it comes to Cortez, Cortez, your son is looking up to you because you're nice on the mic. You're up there doing your battle rap, and he's looking up to you. And the aggression of battle rap could sometimes look like, you see, there's a discipline in battle rap. There's a Battle rap was the first place I believe in hip hop that have this strong discipline that if somebody's talking the worst stuff in front of your face, you guys both know that there's a discipline within that. Even if you don't like each other when the battle's over, that nothing goes on because you understand the entertainment of it and you understand what the culture is about. That gets lost the more outside problems happen and people start to, like, for example, Easy the Block Captain and Remy Ma. They find themselves in somewhat of a relationship throughout social media. They find themselves messing around. Okay. But the attention that brought, it kind of, even though it brings light to the culture on just, the rapping and the stage performances, it also brings outsiders that might not necessarily be looking at it for lyrics. They might be looking at it just for what's happening about it. So that right there gets the culture lost. Now, if hip hop could take on the same discipline with saying, you know what, if your drill music has this or any of this turns out to be any proof of you going against somebody else, this is getting cut off of the radio. This is getting cut off of YouTube. This is not going to be able to play. And that takes people to a disciplined point where they say, you know what do you want to do here? You want to go viral and make the money on some music that could be sustainable, or do you want to put some music out there that's just talking about somebody or somebody's dead family, somebody death in somebody's family, and it's not going to be monetized? So these are the things that's going to be structured around this type of stuff, because at the end of the day, it's leading the youth in the wrong way. Wanting to be real, wanting to be tough, wanting to be the top drill rapper, it's the same way as saying, you want to be the toughest guy in prison. Even though you might get that award, it's like a paperclip award. It serves nobody, it serves no purpose. So Cortez, man, when the parenting part comes to these situations, I wouldn't have took it to social media that quick until I kind of, maybe put myself, and he did court, and I'm gonna just tell you, from when you to hear a father scrambling, man, to get whatever he done, it wasn't like Cortez, he slipped on anything. To get, I think it was almost up to $40,000, and he had to, pawn his jewelry and do things out of, a person that really thought about all this material stuff, that would have hurt them. But for him, his family meant more to him. It's just that, he reacted, his sense of protection reacted at the wrong time, because he didn't understand the first, when this kid was going through. You can't really stop, especially you got a son, and he's the only one raising the son. You don't know what your kid is at on 24 hours, what your kid is doing, who every friend is. So right there, by the time his protection came in at the last minute, but he was already caught up in it. So I'm just wishing blessings and hoping him all the best. Keep your mind right, and it's hopefully, and God, thank God that it's not a life sentence. So there is another chance for your son. So you got to look at it like that. And also, when he comes out, have a more substantial outlook of him. Maybe some people need the discipline, is sad, of penitentiary to get a better outlook of just what he want to do. And I'm pretty sure when he comes out, he might not even want to do that drill music, even if it still exists. So he might want to do something else. And both of you guys just stay connected, because prison can't stop the connection. It might just stop the physical, but you guys stay connected as a father and son. And I think that a lot of people are going through this in a lot of communities right now, that they can't control their kid, because they have their life to control, as well as being out there and knowing what their kid is doing on the 24. So yeah, man, healing energy, and blessings out to my boy Cortez. I did get a chance to meet Cortez. I met a lot of battle rappers. I met Cortez. I met Murder Mook. I met T-Rex. I met Loaded Lux. I met Math. I met a lot of battle rappers, man. So I'm just hoping that, and even the battle rap community, put some love around Cortez situation, and try to, because everybody, it's not everybody, people have their kids too, and they go about things in a different way. If you're training your kid a different way and bringing your kid up a different way, and your kid is not focused on the drill music, tell another parent how you got your kid to the point where they don't look at drill music as everything, or parents got to help each other and give each other tips in these times, because there's a lot going on that can distract people and from, you know, losing their family. And you don't want to do that, because you lose your family and you lose the real sense of love that you really got around you, and you don't really have anything at all. So that's just what I wanted to say on that. Now back to, let me see, what else we got here? Oh yeah, man, oh yeah. Let's talk about this whole Cameron and Jim Jones loyalty drama. As the more this thing piles up, because it's like picking up this type of energy that I'm not really liking at this point. At this point, so from what I know now is that you guys are not, I would say they're friends, but they're not the best of friends. And I can see why, because there's a imbalance of back then and now. You see, like I always tell you guys, when it comes to friendship, even the older you get, you start to understand the value in your friends and what type of friends you have around you. And sometimes people grow up with friends that you might just be going in your different directions as you guys grow, and then sometimes you merge back again with some, you know, some similar values. But when it all boils down with Cameron, I think the hip hop doesn't want to see it go that far. I don't think hip hop wants to see Cam or Jim beefing with 50 Cent. But I think that if we really, I think we can't be blind to the fact of just the little things that we know that they don't gel. They're not friends, you know. And it's sad, because I think it all has to do with this false sense of power that hip hop makes you feel like you have to be part of to be a boss or be, you know, in charge of certain things. I think hip hop gave, you know, the outlook of you have to, it's a certain, like, you know, okay, so like just say, you know, you're trying to get into the club and the bouncer, he treats you like crap. The reason why he's probably treating the people on the line like crap is because probably the people in there that's paying him is treating him like crap, and it goes on and on and on and on. And that hurt, and people pick up on that now. So now when it's your turn to be the person on the other side, you're the only, you giving out the same type of energy that you once not liked. So that's the type of, hip hop has a way of like this 360 circle of like, this is how it's supposed to go. But I feel like just being yourself, being the best person you could be, helping people out. It doesn't matter who has the most money or who is working with who. I feel like the Cameron and Mace, being that they did have a friendship in the past, like I told you guys the last live, you can't stop people from rekindling like their friendship. Sometimes people might look back and look at things like, you know, that wasn't that serious. I understand why this happened, and they find understanding in it. And as far as like Jim Jones, they were, I see the conversation was comparing Jim Jones to just the disloyalty of, you know, a time when Cam was like kind of going back and forth with 50, and now Fifth picked up on that 48 laws of, you know, just, it's a test, man. It's almost like, I see you guys y'all might not be the friends y'all say y'all are. Y'all might not be as tight as y'all say y'all are. So let me just throw something in and see how, let me just test him, let me see. He's better than him. And that's when you fall to that, the chess move was already won. Fifth won the chess move. He knew how to play that card. He knew you guys weren't real friends. You see, that happens a lot. But when it comes down to groups, that could be a format of a way of, you know, checking to see if the group is at, because you can right now, like I always, it's a good group to always mention is the Locks. I think they are hater proof of all of this nonsense. They never had, if one day you come up and you say, well, yo, Jadakiss, he's the nicest out of everybody in the Locks. That doesn't make Styles or Chic feel no type of way. They know that's their brother. So they don't have no feeling about that. So you know that bond can't be broken by somebody just saying that. But if you got some friends now, or you and your girls go out there now, and a guy walk up to you, or one of these figures walk up to you and say, you know, she's the baddest one. If that makes the one in the corner that she thought she was the baddest, if that makes her feel depressed inside and feeling like she's not the baddest, she start not feeling like herself no more, it's because that problem's within herself. You see, so the person that makes the move is not 50's fault for making that move. He just seen an opening in there that he made a play, and it was fell for, you know. And even though Jim Jones was looking at it like, you know, because the only way Jim could be right in what he's saying is if at that point him and Cam, they weren't really friends. It was just, if that's the only way I can be right. If not, if that's your man, no matter if you guys are just going through, whatever you're going through, it's never, because it gets blurry when he looks over now and you're on stage with him and he's going through it with him. We all know as human beings it's going to look blurry. So I can see where that went, and comparing it to like when Fifth compares it to like, with Lloyd Banks. As much as you guys might say, oh, Fifth is just playing, he's just trolling this and that. Fifth is no troll. Fifth doesn't go, I don't see 50 Cent as a troll, y'all. A troll is a person, it's almost like in a kind of like how, they pick at you. Just Fifth usually has a problem with somebody, and the problem might not be as big enough to go and, knock somebody in the eye or be aggressive with him. It might just be something like, oh, you think you could do, and boom, there it goes. I don't look at that as trolling, because at the end of the day, I seen people speaking on, and I didn't even realize this. I didn't analyze this from before. The reason why Fifth put up that, they're saying that when Jim Jones was, I guess they was going through with 6ix9ine, he's trying to say, I guess that is implicating that, that's implying that Jim was somewhat of snitching or working with. I don't know what that was implying as far as that post, but when these things start happening, it's just showing you that it can go there. It might not go there, but it can go there. And it's just, I look at the situation like it's not worth it. In Harlem, it's well known that the materialistic type of energy is at a higher level than different boroughs, just because of the placement of New York City. This has nothing really to do with hip hop. This just has everything to do with community and your environment. The things that steer you to do better in your community. Some communities, that might not be it. Some communities, they're driven by sports, because in that community might have had a winning team, or somebody that made it to the NBA or made it to a baseball team. That's how things are built, through the environment. So when you see that, it's kind of like, you kind of see why things go left. But you have to look as individuals. In certain friendships, this is the reason why in school and college and all the high school, these things come into play in our lives because of this. Forming groups of friends that you can gel with, and you can possibly one or two of those people will go on with you in your life, or keep in contact in your life as the days to go. And that's just how life works. But now when you see like situations that turn out like this, it shows that when people say in the industry people are not really friends, it means that some way, somehow, everybody's in it for the target of just money, and no matter what, they'll do whatever to get it. And even if you say we cool, or we take a bunch of pictures together holding up the glass or the bottles together, that doesn't necessarily mean that when we leave we have each other's best interests. And people have to know what a friendship really truly is before they get into any of these types of situations, or these types of businesses. Because in business, friendship is not a thing that's held high. We all know these things. So if you don't have that within yourself to be like that with somebody, then that makes you less valuable when it comes down to just your socializing on your everyday basis. If you're not a good friend, meaning that like, you'll do anything to get what you gotta go, or forget about your peeps. I'm not saying, and it's not everybody that has to look back and say here to the hood or here to a bunch of friends, but it's just the people that you hold dear to your crew. This is how, we all come up, because we all have this sense of knowing that we are still from the same culture, and we all trying to make it, whether it's making it all the way up to the highest, or just trying to make it out of the circumstances that we are in at this point. And when you have your own people having like a hold on that, it draws this energy that even if you don't talk about it, the more you let it go on and on and on, it grows into this like, I don't like this person anymore, and I'm not dealing with this person, because you could kind of see what's going to happen if you do from past situations. So I think that's what led this type of energy between Cam and Mace is cool, and Jim Jones. Now it's just a whole mix in between of, it's just a mess. And I'm just hoping that they can piece it up and maybe find, even if they don't find a way to come back together as far as like just everybody making music or rolling together, they could still come terms to say, well, that's my crew anyway, regardless of what's going down. That'd be kind of cool, you know? But I never know what's going on behind the scenes, how people actually treat people and things like that. I've heard different things here and there, but nothing too solid enough to make me say, that would dead a whole friendship. You know what I mean? So that's how I feel about that whole situation. Another thing I wanted to talk to you guys about, well, I don't want to stay too long on the Jay-Z, but I'm hearing that they're in a motion to get those the lawsuit dismissed over that whole controversy, because it seems like it might possibly be, you know, some of this stuff kind of sticks to your character in a way when you have people that they follow the misinformation. Some of this stuff could be believable to those people because just their outlook on how the whole industry is. So he's trying to get all of that dismissed. Hey, I'm not mad at him because this case right here is going to be, nobody wants to be implicated in this. I'm gonna be honest with you. This is holding big time, and when it comes down to the feds, they don't really lose, and I don't think they're going to lose to a bunch of these guys. You know, it's not looking like that. If I felt like if Jay is doing the right thing for going up against the lawyers, but Jay-Z himself can go up against the feds. This is not how it works. You know, even if you know somebody that works in the feds, people know people that work in the feds in certain places. Even if that's the case, it's still a group strength that's gonna, this is deeper than we think. This is deeper than them drones that was flying over the wildfires. This is that deep, okay? It's looking like, you know, when it comes down to, that is not only a money game, but this is a character. This wipes you out after this. Don't think in the past, if you've seen anybody you thought that made out after this or these type of allegations and you felt like they made it, no, after this is over, nobody wins. There's nobody wins. Trust me, nobody wins. It ain't gonna be no holding up the Pepsi next day and celebrating. No. These type of allegations hold a stain on your career, your finances, and everything that goes around you. So him trying to clear it up, I understand, because he understands that how deep this can get. Because it's not really looking good for Diddy. They're pulling things from everywhere, out the hat, the trunk, everything for Diddy. So this man, it got dark. All I can say, it got dark. Now, Kanye West versus Adidas. This is something I wanted to talk to you guys about. Why is Kanye West still beefing with Adidas? Kanye, people learn from their mistakes. Do it yourself. Do it yourself. If you feel like your celebrity will overweigh the amount of people you have to distribute or work on the product, you have to make it limited. That's just how it goes. For you guys that don't know. Okay, so for example, us, if we wanted to start our own sneaker, it would be a growing process for us to go. But if a celebrity wants to start their own sneaker from scratch, no matter where, when they get the sneakers made, remember, they have a following already, so it's going to be on a higher demand than us. So they don't have really that much chance to grow with the product. It's like, boom. So that's what is missing in a lot of what's going on today. If it's us, we are not known, so they're not putting our being in front of the product. They're putting the product in front of us. So you have to know you grow with the people, but the more your celebrity rises, or if you're a celebrity, that's when you're going to have whatever product you have is going to be on a higher demand. Now, as far as Kanye West selling sneakers, if you have to stop going with they already have, that's their company. Nike, Adidas, that's their dreams. You have to build your dreams, not off of somebody else's dream. There's no more of that. Because the loan that comes with that, you can't fit the bill. Stop. Because the more you slander other companies and these big places, and they didn't do this for me, this doesn't come out right, you're going to end up not doing anything with your brand. That's what happens. Don't be scared of what you're not going to sell. Just concentrate on what you can sell. Adidas there's no way you're going to slander Adidas, Nike, or any of these companies. These are people that build sustainable companies that still last up till today. Until you can establish something that lasts that long, I think they were out longer than hip hop. Until you can establish something that long, you can't speak on somebody else's legacy. You're going to find yourself in court once again, losing more money than you expected. Just because somebody did something first and opened up a sneaker, look, it's just like when I used to see people, they designing on top of the Nike sneaker. And I tell people all the time, what are you doing? Stop designing on them people's sneakers. And then they get mad when they use their designs and on the sneaker. It's because you just work for them for free. Make your own sneaker. I'm talking about from scratch. Stop taking other people's creations and try to build over it and put things on it. That is not the way to go about it. You guys are going to find yourself in big lawsuits. Just the other day, I seen a brand and the guy had Bob Marley on his hoodie, and I know he didn't get the licensing for it. So you have to understand what's been going on, and that type of stuff is, after a while, you're gonna be, these companies are gonna be picking up lawsuits, because when you put that type of stuff on camera and people, and it's a market and promotion, somebody's gonna get sued. Social media is more important than it was a few years before. Now, when you put these brands on camera and you're talking this mumbo jumbo about the brand, this and that, and how they didn't do it, you're gonna find yourself with zero in your bank account. Trust what I tell you. A lot of people that you thought were the biggest and the people of power, they're falling into the antitrust. That antitrust is wiping people's money right away. So you have to be very careful. The responsibility in ownership of one business. That's why I always tell you with this, everybody with this hustle man, hustle woman stuff, and they selling from candles all the way to car tires. I told you that type of stuff is going to find yourself broke. The more you pick ownership of all these different things and you don't know how to tackle ownership of one thing, you're going to find yourself bombarded with a whole bunch of things that you can't handle. Your life is going to be scattered. Do not fall for these people. All these tricks and moves that they're doing, what they think they're seeing is not what they're seeing. They see people and they hear like Shaquille O'Neal, a whole bunch of ownership and this and that. What you don't understand, those are people that have money that invest into these things, that builds up that profit so they can get a sustainable amount of money from all of these things. That doesn't mean that he owns all of these. Look, let me tell you. Listen to me. The ownership, the companies that are winning right now have some attachment to culture because people could connect. That's the first trust in it. A lot of the companies you've seen before that back in the days, you walk in Macy's, you see all the brands. Yeah, they're disappearing now, and there's a reason for this. People don't want it. You see people, don't you see Don King is getting sued from way back then? People are getting sued from these types of situations. I've seen people duplicating things on, like, you cannot design on a Nike hoodie. You cannot have Nike and put your design and think you're going to put it for sale on a profit. That is illegal, you guys. I know you've seen people do it. I know you see people designing on other things. But do the right thing. Just do the right thing. I'm telling you, you won't fall into these problems in the future. People are coming to collect. You think I'm joking. People are coming to collect. That's why I keep, if you can't be successful at one thing, that's when you stop that thing you're doing, try another thing, and then maybe your next thing will be successful. You keep going on. You don't keep holding on to each thing. It's just kind of like you want to break up with your shorty, but you can't break up with her. So now you're cheating on her and you holding on to her. Now you don't want to be with her. Now you get another one. You got this whole line of people that you don't even understand how to hold it down. So you're putting yourself, it's the same thing as business. It's even real estate. There's going to be a lot of people in Los Angeles. Don't think that the property after the wildfires and things, you think that somebody's going to build a mansion over there now and they're going to get profits, high profits? No. The value of all of the homes that's put in these places where these type of natural disasters happen are going to be at lowest value. So we take that in sense, and we have to realize the things that's coming up next that's going to be in value are going to be more closer to us. And people are making wiser decisions now. I wouldn't, to be honest with you, California is a beautiful place, but I wouldn't move back in that area. I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't put my family through that risk. Because the thing that we lost in that area, this can happen again. And to be honest with you, I kind of knew about the wildfires. I believe it was a scientist I had seen on YouTube. Nothing special or I read in the book. It was a guy on YouTube. He was a scientist, and he was just saying that, he was explaining that if the wind blows at a certain rate at a certain point in time, that it can wipe out a whole lot more than just that. and this is the results. A lot of people passing away and losing their stuff and things that were dear to them. It's hurtful, but it's still a natural disaster. And these are the things that we're not expected. So when it comes to business that anything can happen. What you thought was value of today might not be in value tomorrow. It might look like, I see more people taking the routes of this numbness. And there's so many things in this world that they're building to the numb business. It's at an all-time high. It goes right along with deception. It goes right there. Just get the sweetest candy, the strongest coffee, the strongest liquor, you got to get the highest off of the marijuana. You don't even know the damn thing got polyfentanyl in it. People are making the wrong decisions through desperation, and it's no good. I see it happening. I see people not knowing what to even stand behind anymore. We went from black Americans arguing with like Puerto Ricans about who made hip hop, but we know it's black Americans made it. That became an argument that's silenced because of the trauma that's going on in the world today, because what they took out of that wasn't substantial enough to conquer what's going on in these communities. All our communities, whether you live in the poorest of community or the richest of community, we all are going to feel the same type of situations. Things that we can't control. It doesn't have to be a wildfire for you to understand that things that happen just happen every day that you have no control of. The people you love go out, do things, make mistakes that could be detrimental to them, and that could be detrimental to you when you hear it. These are things that we don't have no control over this stuff. We just gotta hope in ourselves that we make the right decisions in everything we do from this time moving on. And you'll be in a better place than you was, in a better sense of thoughts than you was last year, at least. Let's hope that this year, there won't be so many entertainers and rappers dying. Because there's a connection to that. It's the way your life is set up. Look at Trey Songz now. Trey Songz, I feel like this whole thing with if this is dealing with the guy, the officer or the cop that said he was trying to save his wife in the hotel from Trey Songz, and now it turned into like maybe a $11 million judgment, and they said something like, I believe, like if you don't show up to court and they order that, you have to pay it. You didn't show up. So I think they're going through something like that, and it's just sad, man. It's like the people that I don't see Trey Songz, even throughout. I know Trey and the ladies, he got away with the ladies, but I never seen him as like being a bad guy. I don't see him as being like just a bad guy. And just because some people's, I don't know, man. As when it comes to Trey, because I know somebody that actually knows Trey Songz and worked with him in the studio, and he's one of the artists where I can see the growth in him, and at this point I can see him just having a better sense of what this whole game is about. Because even though he made it all the way to the top, he didn't have it, and I don't want to say it in a bad way, but he didn't have it as easy as the Chris Browns and those other guys. Trey was actually out there, in the street working and standing up to the same level of music. Man, people just don't know, man. People work hard for their stuff, and just all of these, it's just, if you really think about what's going on, all the over-sexualization, this done changed the game up, man. All people think about is sex and money now. And everything else is no value to them because they can't see nothing past that. It's sad. When we hear all these crimes, they always got something to do with the same things. And not everybody in the world is living like that. Here come, Healing Energy. Also, Nicki Minaj and Doja Cat's recording studio was destroyed in the wildfire. So you see, you never know. In these places, it generated money in these places, but at the same point, you don't know what's next to come. That's how life works. You just don't know what's next to come. So Healing Energy, you never know if these people had some great music or things that they held there in these places. So it doesn't matter about, how much money a person has or how rich they are or how poor they are. When these type of things that happen, we should all come together and have some kind of understanding that it can happen to us too. I would never put it past a wildfire spreading through New York City. Yeah, it never happened, but I would never say it can never happen. And I would hope that people will have that same grace and have that same, helping hand and good word for us like we will have for other people. I hope that will be, because, man, these are things that you really can't control. As much as you think you can control some of this stuff, you really can't. You really, really can't, man. You really, really, really can't. Today they're saying that, what is it, 9:30, it should be, everybody right now should be knowing if Donald Trump is going to get arrested or go. I don't think he's going to get arrested or go through anything. I really don't. I feel like when it comes to politics and politics, they got their own ways of, handling things, and I don't think so. It'll be surprising if I cut this off and that's what's going on. But if that's the case, I don't know what's next to come with this world. But one thing that I want to say to you guys is, when it comes down to like all the wars that people are saying, there's going to be a war, it's going to be this and that. Just know that there's going to be people. Deaths come. Wars are expensive, and there's a lot of deaths that come with it. So like, don't cheer for that. Don't hope for that. Don't do that. Don't hope for that, because you never know who's going to be affected, and it could ruin your life, man. But you don't have no sense of peace, a peaceful mindset. You don't know where your life can go. You don't know where your life can turn. You really don't. I'm telling you, and believe when I tell you, man, just because of somebody's here kicking some good word to you, my life could have went somewhere else. I could have had a different outlook on people and say, nah, he don't deserve it, I'm gonna do something about it. Nah, who am I to tell somebody what they deserve or what they don't deserve? I don't know. Just having the money could put somebody in a bad person in a situation that they probably deserve what's coming to them later on. I'm not interrupting God's work. You shouldn't either. You take whatever God has for you and you try to find the best ways to spread that out for yourself and your family. God don't send no hate down. God only send love down. It's what you do with it that make yourself, Somebody said Jim Jones is a crybaby. You know what? When I see Jim Jones tearing up, I just know that he's an emotional person. And I feel like, damn, man, it's sad when it comes to Dipset, because they all had different things about them. And I don't know, man. I just, like, you hear stories of how individuals treat other individuals in the as far as the group, and I'm like, man, it was going like that. And just look, if you have a crew, don't just put your crew up there. You gotta live it out. Like, look at Onyx. They're like brothers. You can't. That's another group that you cannot break them apart, because no matter if you say, oh, Fredro is the best, Sticky's still repping, Sticky's the best, Fredro still like, nobody's taking that, and if that can break your group up, or if that can make you feel some kind of way, then the love is, something's wrong with that. Something's wrong with that. Something's wrong with that. And the different types of friendships and how people have their friendships in hip hop is very telling. You can always tell what borough a person is, you can always tell. Even if you look back at the rappers, look at the rappers that came from different boroughs and see how the friendships were. And if you see a lot of that inside the borough, then you know that that's how that borough is. If you see that rapper from that borough mess with some people from other boroughs, then you know that rapper has a mix of energy of those boroughs. So that's how it usually goes, man. I don't want to tell you guys any different, man, but I could just tell you, if you don't have a real friendship and you come in this game, eventually y'all gonna end up to be enemies. The game does that. This guy might get paid more. Back in the day, the artists that had producers and a producer / artist would probably break up in the group, because the other artists wouldn't understand that the producer's gonna make, even though the producer is being an artist and a producer, the producer's gonna make way more because of making the beat and other things. So when the check comes in, it comes in a little different. And if you guys are not strong enough, that thing could separate people too. That's why I say it's not really about just the money. Because what if tomorrow things could shut down? If you realize everything that's digitalized, everything that you see like on Spotify and Apple Music and things, all of this, if it shuts down, where would you find that source of music? That's the place where it's going to be most valuable at. Not the place if it can control that. I mean, pay attention to what's really going on out here. There's people are having control issues. This has been going on for a few years now, ever since social media. People want back control of the job places. They want control of everything. They want control of your lives because there's no more of this traditional working thing. It's breaking up as the more days that go on, we're seeing that this whole traditional way of people, the way they work, it's not working out. Prices are high and people can't even fit those prices if they work overtime. So there's definitely a problem going on. In New York City, it's like the congestion fees, it's like a good and bad thing at the same point. Because it's good because they don't want the city being packed up with a whole bunch of cars, because then the city will just drop. There will be there's no space, not enough room. But then the bad part about it is the money that you're charging people is coming from all people that don't even hardly even have it. Don't be fooled and think that when you come to New York, the street is golden and money is falling from the sky. That's the movies. Everything out here is expensive, so you have to be mindful of the things that you're budgeting yourself. You're budgeting your life really at this point. No matter even if you have the most amount of money, you still got to budget your life, because the people that have a little more than others, they're more scared of losing what they have, because they know it takes that much harder to get back up there than just to taking that slow, pace of getting where you got to go. So it's scary for all individuals. You got to look at it from both sides. Another thing I wanted to talk to you guys about, Paris Jackson, which is Michael Jackson's daughter, she was just dealing with like this whole sobriety, I believe it was alcohol as well as cocaine, and I don't know, man. When it comes to celebrities and their parenting and things like that, I just know, we know from Michael Jackson, we knew he was present, but we knew Michael Jackson's life was definitely awkward. It was different, and we don't know what's been going on as far as their dynamic between father and son, father son, father daughter. We don't know, and just his dynamic, the Jackson family dynamic when it came to Michael and his kids, it was just different, like covering them up. These are things we know, not to just dwell on that part, but you could see the outlooks and the way things turned out. Maybe just the passing of her father and just all this talk on social media and everything. You don't know what his kids believe in, and it led her to get into this. So she's sobering up now, and thank God she woke up at this point, and hopefully she doesn't find herself back in those places, because those places are expected for you guys. You are the guys that they expect not to handle this type of celebrity that was put up, because it takes away from your struggle. You no longer can say, oh, I struggle this, struggle that, to society. Guys like us, I can see the struggle even in a billionaire. Everybody has their sense of struggle in certain things, but it's only when you compare struggles that's when you get that's not as much as this or that. But the truth is, everybody has struggles, and it's sad that we oftentimes see like celebrities or just rich people that have made tons of money, and now they're going and they're left up to their kids. It never really goes well. It's usually some type of drugs, some type of numbing goes into them, just trying to live up to something, or just trying to be part of what they're most likely not of. That's just how that go, man. That's just how it go. That's just how that thing goes. But I see a lot of people, a lot of people going through that, and some people make it out, some people don't. It's not a secret that like Kodak Black and stuff, he had substance abuse problems. But people like artists and things that go through that stuff, they got to find themselves out of that placement to get to their real self, because you're blowing your dream. Don't just fulfill it and think the money is going to be the thing that's going to say, oh well, this I can look at this and say I made this from that. No, you're going to blow that away. And when you break out of that, you're going to be so angry at the people that fed that poison to you that you don't even want to be surrounded or near them, because they're going to be wanting more from you, taking from you, like Wendy Williams, the people that be around her, just taking and doing whatever they want, or trying to build things around her to make themselves money. And all this type of nonsense comes up when you don't have people around you can trust. So yeah, man, it's crazy. It's nuts out there. It's nuts. Sometimes you got to thank God, like I always tell you, for the things that he didn't put you through, I remember as a youth coming up, you know, it was a point where you thought that hip hop and entertainment was so much, but then you start realizing, man, if you don't see yourself in there, like if it's just gonna be on some ignorant kill this, kill that, and you don't like, I find myself like personally, me, I listen to like Nas, I listen to Jay, Big, I listen to like all the way to like Ghetto Boys. I'm just thinking of things on my playlist right now. Ali Vegas, Cassidy. I just got so many different things on every Lost Boys, 50 Cent, Yayo, Banks. Oh, Griselda Conway, one of my favorite artists. I just listen to people that suits me. That's more. It's just I don't really listen to like everything is never up to date. But by the time I hear it, I'm like, oh, this is something new. I'm already listening to these songs over and over. There's so much music in the world that you can carve out to find yourself. Oh, this suits me, instead of just trying to expect it out of every artist. Because people out here trying to get their money, they ain't really trying to make changes or you know, put some messaging in there that could inspire. Some people are just out there trying to make money, and whatever worked before, they're trying to improve that and make it work again, or however they got going. You got to be mindful of that. And yo, on that Jim and Cameron, it's sad, man. It's sad. It's sad. But to me personally, how I read it, I don't think that. Like, I feel like Cam might not want to be around. It doesn't say that. It doesn't say that you're not friends with them. It just, he's at a point in his life where he just wants to put himself in the most comfortable space he's in, and now he's doing what he's doing. He just doesn't probably want distractions. I could see why that question would linger in his mind on why did Jim Jones, somebody that I grew up with, why did he go over to 50 Cent? And I can see how Jim Jones was looking at it like, you wasn't putting me here in these positions. This is my time to shine, and I'm trying. So it just, when it all boils down, man, you got to make sure your friendship is tight and it don't get out in the public, so people can make their own critiques on it. Because if we did that, there's a lot of people right now that's chilling with bad people around them, like just bad friends, and just steering them wrong, telling them to do different things, and it's crazy. It's nuts. I won't want to be a part of that, but yeah, I know how that go, man. Because everybody sees Dipset as a whole, but in hip hop, they really they broke in the game and did something different. So you could always commend all of them on that. And that's everybody, including Purple City, everybody that had something to do with that whole movement, from Skull Gang, everybody, man. Just find a way to get it together and look past the money. Yeah, it's gonna be always somebody richer than somebody, and that's just how life works. You're not all gonna have the same amount of money, but that ain't make y'all, you know, so try to find something else instead of beefing over things. Because when it boils down, I be seeing it's a lot of these situations in hip hop is about money and this little power you have within your friends and things like that. This whole competition back and forth, I don't even worry with that stuff. Like I told you, in competition, remember, somebody got to lose in that competition. Nobody likes to lose in these times. You might as well take yourself in a place where you're most comfortable, and people are not looking at you to compete. People are just looking at, you know, other things, like just better themselves, or you bettering yourself. Helps me out. I got a little sniffles, man. The weather out here in NYC is crazy. It's on and off, man. Today I need some good, I don't know if I'm gonna do soup today though. I think I might just get some good food today, relax myself, see what you guys are talking about, because I got a lot of time today. I'm gonna do some designing. You know I'm gonna do some designing. I got a lot to do. I got my little schedule set out for today that I'm looking forward to. I'm looking forward to it. Where you guys tuning in from? Let me know. Let me see if there's anything else I wanna. I didn't get to watch everything on YouTube, but I'm on my catch up. I didn't get to watch everything, but here and there I heard some different things, and I'm like, okay, cool. I think I'm gonna add that to the conversation. That's what I'm up to. But I feel bad for all them people in LA. You know, we gotta understand that things are happening, and the way we treat the earth, and this is nothing spiritual or anything like that. It's just the way we treat the earth is the way the earth is gonna treat us back. You know, if we're just beating up the earth, like throwing pollution and all of this, spraying chemicals in the air and things like that, don't expect the earth to treat you back with some good energy. That's not how it works. As a matter of fact, those are all the things that start these fires, and because you could have fires from chemicals, fires can start from friction, fires can start from just temperature. There's a lot of things what makes the world what it is. And the more we take away from it is because I just heard recently, I learned that like if you took all the salmon fish, all the salmon out of the like this certain area, then the trees won't grow or something like that. So everything, you'll be so surprised how we're all connected, even down to animals. And the more we start not caring about those things, that's the natural things, is the more that the earth is not going to care about us. How you treat the earth will treat you back. It's an energy, you know. So I want you guys to take that with you. It's Friday. I'm feeling good. I'm glad that we made it. We made it through the week. And yeah, I will say to the people out there, just stay original, be yourself, and never copy the next person, because you never know what the next person's got their stuff from. I would say the best thing in these times, connect with the people that you feel more closest to, that maybe that can steer you through the things that you might find like is a problem in your life. Right now, my allergies are killing me, and I found a little way to cope with it. What I do is, this might just sound over the other way, but I get a little Vaseline and I put it by my nose, and because usually my nose dries up, and it makes my throat dry, and that's when, like the other live, you heard me cough and things like that. So now do that, drink some water, find your remedies to life, and you'll live a better one. It's not really, a lot of people, we see that a lot, and I know what it is. I get it. People want to, that don't go with the rapper kit. And I hate to just put it on the rapper, but this is where it stems from. Don't just go with the, oh, you feel like you are more of a man. You got the watch, the diamonds and all that stuff. But just remember, you're more of the man when you have this. When you have this, you can go anywhere and nobody can rob you for it or snatch it off for you, you know? They can't do nothing with this. They can't do nothing with what you got up here. That's where it all counts. And you can get that stuff, and just be mindful on where you wear it. You know, what's the sense of being the only guy in the neighborhood, in the hood with a Bentley? Who are you trying to? You're gonna put yourself in. Try to live in your means and realize that the things that you're trying to look outside of your means to get, it doesn't even suit you. A lot of that stuff I don't get too hype. It ain't my twist. I don't get too hype off a lot of this stuff. I've seen it time and time again. It's kind of like the Jordans. Now they putting Jordan. I've seen Jordans from the day one all the way up till now, and now it's like we have to put them in rotation. Let's switch the colorway and let's do this, but it's the same thing. And that's how I look at life. And you have to understand, if you didn't have that feeling or that story in it that made you want to get it then, don't just go crazy to get it now. Somebody else is going to experience the same feelings that you experienced from the first time they see it, hopefully, and that's what makes the thing so great. But when you start to leave your value within these materialistic things, that's when you have a mind, your mind is wasted, man. You can't, you out here looking at people and judging people on what they wear and what they got in their pocket. You are so full of what this world's about. And trust me, you might think you're the toughest person, but it wouldn't even take you lifting up a finger. By the time you lift up a finger, you'll be in a place that you wouldn't even understand how you got there. The world is not only is it wicked, it's serious. It's play it like a chessboard. Understand that every move that you make is detrimental for what's going to happen to you. And you got to know how to maneuver in life, you know? You got to know how to maneuver in life. Let's stop praising death. Let's stop putting death in everything that we do, in our music and in our words. Let's take that out of it and see how much more life that we can bring upon this earth. And you'll see things growing instead of just the plants are dying, the food don't taste the same. What do you think this is all because? It's our energy as a whole, as human beings, what led us to make these type of decisions that the earth is picking up on. And this is not something to be spooky about. This is just how what you put out into into the atmosphere is what's going to come back to you. Sometimes people feel unstoppable, like myself. It's because you know that you've seen things that you can't really explain. You've seen yourself do things, believe in things, and come up with things up here, and you've seen it play out, and you've seen patterns. And once you start seeing things, you start to realize that your superpower is in here, not how you look or none of this stuff. All of this stuff can be switched up. This can be read, and if you're gonna look at me different from what I'm wearing, I don't want you to look at me. Just listen to the audio, because what I'm saying is worth more than what I'm wearing. And you always gotta do that, and always travel like that, and be that of that value, because them people, they feel like they can buy you. They don't let people think they can buy you. You can't be bought. You can't be bought. You could be used, but you can't be bought, okay? So be used the right way and use other people the right way. Don't do wrong with your peeps. If you see your friend needs some help, or whether it be financial and you can help them out, or maybe a word of advice to help them, go help them. You don't look what other people doing. And just because you might not, if you don't feel inside that you're a boss, don't go out there and get on like you some boss and you a boss of this and you know everything, because at the end of the day, you're only causing friction and people will look at you like you're crazy. Socialize with the right people, stay wise, and stay around people that love you, okay? And for all the parents out there going through it, that you have kids that's dealing with this like drill music and they're caught up with this whole hip hop and the wrong things, you got to stop them now. Because your kid could end up in the RICO, your kid could end up in prison, or most, God forbid, in the coffin. And we don't want to see that, because that type of pain, you never forget it, and it hurts you for a lifetime, okay? You don't want to hold that type of hurt on your shoulders. Pray to God that he can change your wisdom and the way you see things, instead of praying to God to get things out of, because God is not here to give you things that we created. God is only here to enlighten you and let you know the things that he created for you. You can't look at these material things and ask God to, what he know about Jordans? You know, like, no, it's not about that. It's not about the diamonds and all of that nonsense. Nice watch. You like watches? Get a nice watch. Don't overdo it, because you overdoing it, somebody gonna overdo it to you. As much as you've seen that you want to party, you want to go on the dance floor, you want to be known, you want to be famous, those are all the things that's going to be the poison to your death. You want to be the opposite of that. You want to be somebody that's known for what you got up here, and not just fame and go out there and be a clown. Remember, I always used to tell you guys, even from, if you look at old movie, clowns never get respected, no matter how much the show goes on. You know why? Because they never see who the person is behind the makeup. They can always put that same paint on another person. You will never know the difference. Don't be a clown. Don't be a mascot. Be yourself. Show people who you are. Let people know the goodness that you have in yourself. Don't just go out there and make the loudest or scream the loudest curse just to get attention. You want attention? Earn your attention. And that's how I did it. I didn't have to go in there and say, could you please subscribe here, or go on other people's thing and say, come over to my page. No. Eventually, here and there, I knew you guys would get up with me, and I knew you guys that if you're looking for something that's more, I wouldn't even say, I wouldn't say I'm not better than nobody. If you're just looking for something a little bit different, or a different outlook from a person that came up with a good life and still going on and trying to stick and hold his family together, this is the place to be. It's not anywhere else where you feel like the money's at your ear and all of that stuff. Yeah, I'm disrespecting it because it's disrespectful to not only your culture, the people that raise you. It just shows that you lack the sense of a lot of things. Look, if you don't have parents that raise you right, before you even think about calling yourself an adult, you go out there and you study yourself, you study humans, and you find yourself in people that's great. If you don't have that backing behind, there's always a different route for you to go and just pick up whatever somebody tell you, or stand on the street corner and claim it like it's yours. All of that stuff, that's ghetto stuff. You got to get your mind out of that ghetto mentality. The reason why people come from those situations is not their fault, but the way they think is their fault. If you think like that and you keep that type of thinking, you stay in that type of place. If you think better than that, you could even be in that type of place and feel way better, like you're living in paradise. It's all about what you got up here. Don't let people beat you up with the things that you don't have. You let them people, and you start fighting back with the things that you could do, and stop looking over what everybody else is doing. Like I told you, yeah, making clothes for us in a black culture, yeah, so it's at a low value now. But if you really love doing it like myself, you keep doing it, and eventually you get what you get out of it, and that's that's always a blessing. But if you look at other cultures and want to know why that when they start something, the value of it is up and they can sell it at these high margins, is because they believe in themselves and they don't go out there hurting each other like how we hurt each other. So that's a lesson for us to take for ourselves and realize that what we do and how we treat people, that's gonna be looked upon us as a whole society, not just you. If you go to your job and you loudmouthing this person and talking about so and so, the next person that they go to hire, they don't want that person to be like you, your color, everything. They're gonna go down the line, and that's just how life works because we only human. And you know how this works, y'all. So y'all, I want y'all to stay blessed, stay focused, and always present your best self, because if not, people are gonna hold on to your worst self and they're gonna treat you like that for the rest of your life. You hear me? Love y'all, and thank you for tuning in. It's Friday. Go out there, spend some time with your kids. Tell somebody you love them, wear a new color. Do something different, man. But don't think that you have to put on or do all this other extra stuff to be who you are. Love you guys, and I thank you for tuning in. If you're new to this channel, you know what to do to this channel. Subscribe right now. It's your boy Mickey, all right? Love you. Queens get the money. Peace.